today we brought someone with us. Whoops! Did you go for a ride? Did you go for a ride? That's our dog, Adagio, but we call him Dodge for short. He's a very good boy. So he's hanging out, and he's kind of a prissy paws when it comes to the rain. He doesn't like it too much. And, you know, having to clean muddy paws is not always the most fun thing in the whole wide world. But he's been chilling in here where it's dry because we don't have a nice spot for him yet. So that's our boy. Upon driving back from our little rainy excursion today, we decided we'd tell you a little bit more about Dodge in case you want to know.
His full name is Adagio.
I already said that in my other video. Wow. So, but which means it's a music term, and seeing as we're both music teachers, it's very fitting for us, but we did not name him. We actually rescued him from stray rescue. He was found on the streets of North St. Louis on the 4th of July in 2012, and we got him in August of the same year. So his adoption day is coming up. So they thought he was 2 years old whenever we first got him. So now he'd be
14?
12, because he was born in 2010.
Oh, 2010, never mind.
Mm-hmm. So he enough. But he's our border collie mix. We don't know mixed with what. He's very smart. So smart that we had to install latches on our trash can, the pedal trash can that pops the lid, because he figured out how to open them.
You figured out how to use the pedal.
Yeah.
And then he figured out how to open the latches.
Yes, so now we just lock the trash in the bathroom.
That's the only way.
He's a master counter surfer, although he doesn't do that as much anymore because I think he's got some arthritis going on. We're going to get that looked at probably. But speaking of his health conditions, he has Cushing's, and we think it's the pituitary kind because we tried to get an ultrasound done of his adrenal glands, and the vet we were going to, don't recommend. I won't say names, but don't recommend. They kind of looked at us funny whenever we went to get his adrenals looked at. They just said, well, you know that it's really hard to find, and you know it's really going to be hard to see. And I said,
and that was
okay.
That was after they had done the scan,
Yeah, so once we determined he was Cushionoid, I think that's how I say it, Cushionoid.
Yeah. We should probably talk about what that is.
Basically, it's where a benign tumor develops either on their adrenal glands or the pituitary gland, and it causes the animal or person, because people can get it too, to just be in a state of either overproduce cortisol, which is a stress hormone, or they overproduce sex hormones, I guess. And I think since his is pituitary, it's actually technically it overproduces the sex hormones, but
but his cortisol levels are high, so it's kind of hard for them to tell which one it is, like she was saying, because it's just hard to, it's a hard disease to diagnose in dogs. It's easier in people because our parts are bigger, I guess you could say. But in dogs, it's usually like inoperable.
They'd have to go remove this tumor off of his pituitary gland, which could in turn cause a lot of damage.
Yeah, so it's not really worth the risk to do.
And it won't kill him. It's not life-threatening, at least not at this point. But it does cause him to just be hot all the time. Like, I'll go to pet him, and he's his nose is pretty warm and dry. And this morning, for example, I went to pet him behind his ears, and he just kind of felt feverish. I feel really bad for him, but he's just hot all the time. So
it's a lot.
Yeah, and
another side effects the reason we first started noticing it, we should tell that story.
I was about to say that. Yeah,
we went,
this very vehicle.
Yes, we had just gotten this truck, and we went camping with some friends. And, we were just kind of caravanning along and had our little two-way radios going and talking back and forth. And we got into some traffic in this little bitty town, and there was only one road through it, so we had to sit and wait. And he just got antsy as all get out in the back, just pacing back and forth. Like, what in the world? Usually when he does that, he has to go to the bathroom.
And sure
we had no place to turn to pull off, and before we know it, he has explosive diarrhea all over the back seat of the new truck.
This very truck, and so hence the seat cover now, which is waterproof,
yes,
dog-proof, diarrhea-proof. So, but that has not happened since, thank goodness. To get back on track with the story, we first should say that our friends were laughing at us over the two-way because
we were dry heaving.
David was gagging. He just anyway.
It was gross. But anyway, that's one of the symptoms. It turns out that's what we ended up taking him to the vet over. One of the symptoms is having diarrhea. Because he's always like worked up. And he was stressed out already because he was in the car, and then he had that extra cortisol on top of that, and it gives them diarrhea, and it also can make them urinate more frequently, which he does, but he's really good about,
because they're drinking lots and lots of water.
Yeah, they do that to kind of flush their system out, but he's really good about not going in the house. I think he's gone in the house probably maybe 4 times since we've had him.
Yeah, but that was our fault because we didn't let him out. Long. Yeah.
So, but that's one of them: the panting, the diarrhea, the extra hair loss is another thing.
He has no undercoat anymore. No. You can see his skin like straight underneath his hair, and you're like, oh, well, that's great, less shedding. He still kind of sheds, but
not nearly like he used to be.
Yeah, and in the wintertime, I think it probably cools him off a little, but he does get cold a little bit quicker. And then eventually, so they lose their hair, if it gets really bad, it tends to look like mange, like they just look bald, and it's just really sad, and they get that distended pot belly look to them, so they kind of pooch out, and
he's got a little bit of that starting in.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to take him to get some blood work done. We've been meaning to do that for several months now, and shame on us, but and then it'll just kind of give us more of an idea
where he's at, basically. But the thing about this disease is it's basically not curable. Like you can't cure. You can just kind of mitigate some of the issues he's having. Oh, the other thing is we forgot to mention, it can cause him to have diabetes.
Yeah, if left
too.
Untreated.
So it's like, the disease itself is not gonna kill him, but the side effects of it could eventually, like if you let it go unchecked, and didn't try to control those, especially the diabetes part of it, that's a lot to manage. And every time we've had blood work done, he's been fine with that. But we'll get into the why we think. So we took him to the vet.
Yeah, I took him to the vet, and the vet was saying David wasn't able to make it that day. He's just like, well, your only option is this certain medication. I don't remember the name of it. He goes, but basically, I was like, okay, so what exactly does this medication do? He goes, well, it causes them to pee and drink a lot of water, and basically it just
stops that.
Yeah. And I said, okay, so how, like, what is it going to help? And he goes, well, basically if the Cushing's marker was blue or like red, and it was a red flag to the dog's body, then basically what this medication does is it turns it green, and then they don't do that as much. And I said, so basically you're just treating the symptom,
which is kind of what you have to do, honestly, with this disease anyway. But that's just one of the symptoms, and it's one of the symptoms that he honestly wasn't, like, he wasn't peeing in the house. Like, no. It wasn't a huge deal for us.
We caught it early.
Yeah, we caught it early.
And he said that. But the thing about it was, and mind you, we're not a doctor, okay? But we know enough that we can do our own research and see that that's not the only answer. So I wasn't satisfied with that at all. It didn't feel right, and I'm not one of those people like myself to take medication if I don't have to. So I definitely don't want to give it to my dog if I don't know more about it. And not to mention, he said, well, it can be anywhere from $100 to $200 a month, depending on if you have to give him a double dose or not, because you only get a month dose at a time. So, and mind you, he's a doctor. You know, he's gone to school, and that's great. And I don't wish him any ill. But if you're looking for an alternative to this, then I highly recommend you seek out a holistic veterinarian, because that's what we did. I was really fortunate. We stumbled across one in our area, and she has been practicing, I think, for at least 25 years, maybe 30. I could be wrong, but she's fantastic. She gave me more than an hour of her time. And she deals a lot with arthritic animals and alternatives for animals, like, you know, with condition
geriatric animals. Yeah, is a lot what she works with.
Yeah. So when I found her, I said, "Look, we've got this Cushingoid dog. We're trying to find some other alternatives. Is there any way you can help?" And she said, "Yes." Now, I will preface this by saying it was more expensive, but I noticed a difference with what she did in just a little less than a week. I noticed he was a different dog. He was back to his old. He wasn't playing. He was just like kind of lethargic all the time. But then he started to play more. Yeah. And
then back to the other medication that the regular vet wanted to prescribe.
We found out later.
Yeah, that too. But that wasn't where I was going with this. But you know, he said he was basically wanting to treat the urinary symptoms,
which weren't
a problem for him. And I'm sure that medicine does do that, you know, that, but the problem is that's not the only symptom he has. And so we were wanting something to help him. Oh, sorry, we got rumble strips here on the road. Here's another one. Anyway, so that's something we wanted to go more holistically and look at all the symptoms he was having, especially if that one was not one that he did have or a problem for us.
Right. So,
but you were going to say about that.
Well, we found out later with that medication too, via our holistic vet, that actually after 6 months being on that medication, it will actually make the Cushing's worse. So
in her experience.
Yes, and she's seen it enough to know. So if your dog is on that medication and you're looking for an alternative for Cushing's, get him off that medication. You're just...
Well, go see a holistic vet, you know.
I mean, you're going to do what you think is best for your animal, but I highly recommend that go see a holistic vet and get another answer, because...
And get another opinion. And if you don't like it...
That's fine.
You know, that's fine. They're your dog. We're not telling you what to do with your dog. But
no.
This is something that we were very pleasantly surprised by, especially the attention to detail and care that this vet gave over the other vet. It's kind of like going to your regular doctor, you know, and it's like, well, you get 10 minutes with them and you don't have time to talk or ask questions. Like, it's like boom, boom, boom. They want to get you in and out so they can get to their next patient. And that, I mean, I'm kind of getting off track. I think that's a whole problem with our whole medical system. But anyway, the holistic vet, I mean, you paid her for her time, you know, but it wasn't like she was trying to rush you out.
No.
Like when we made an appointment,
our initial appointment,
wasn't it like an hour and a half you were there or something?
Yeah, it was a long time.
And so she didn't have anybody else blocked. Like, she blocked out that time for us, which was great.
So gracious. I had so many questions. I was just like, well, I've seen this, you know, obviously Google does not make you a medical expert. I was, you know, looking at things, but she's like, well, okay, so yeah, this is what that is, and this is, you know, how you do this, and this is what this means, and she's very gracious about it. So what she did, getting to the point that I'm sure you're wanting to know, how did we fix this?
We didn't fix it, but
it's not fixed, but how did we mitigate it a little bit more? Basically, she has him on several different supplements. One of the brands that we have is Crane Herbs and Supplements, and you have to get that, like, a veterinary prescription to get it, but it's the Si Meow San. I'm going to say that wrong.
So she does Chinese medicine.
Yes. So she changed his diet.
Yeah. Is it just that? Does she do acupuncture?
She does, I think, if they have
the issues. Like herbal medicine, that type of stuff, you know.
Actually, I don't know about that. I shouldn't say. I don't know.
I don't know if she does acupuncture, but she does traditional Chinese medicine and other. Not just that, though. I think there's other avenues that she takes, but that's one of the things that he takes. There's several different things. The first thing, though, like, I think the main thing was changing his diet.
Yeah, so she changed. Hold on.
Okay.
She has him on supplements, and what is it? What is the company we order the hepatic support and Standard Process?
Standard Process.
So we're on a few supplements from Standard Process to help out his liver, and we have him on a low-fat diet because fat overtaxes the liver. So we don't have him on dog food anymore. Like, he eats people food, and before you're like, oh my gosh, that's with the cost of everything, that's ridiculous. How you pay for that every month. Actually, it is expensive. Yeah. And we do pay more money, but it's about how much you're willing to invest in your pet. Like, for us, we don't have kids, so he is our kid. He's our fur baby, and we want to give him the best quality of life that we can. So we were willing to invest in this, and it is probably 3 times the price that it would have cost for that medication, but it's doing a lot more for him. So we feed him a cooling diet with the Standard Process supplements and the Crane supplement. We've got a supplement from Balance It, and it's just a nutritional additive. It's just a white powder you put in. It's got good stuff in there for them. We also have him on a digestive enzyme. I think it's Prozyme.
Yeah.
And
that helps him digest his food better.
Maybe we can put links in the bio to all this stuff.
Yeah, we could do that.
And we are very careful about what we feed him. So I'm trying to pull it up on my phone here. She gave us a list of what he could and could not have, and it's really hard to see, but basically it's a list of all the things that he can and can't have. We stick to neutral foods. This is hard in the car, sorry, and cooling foods. And I don't know if...
And this is based on Chinese medicine.
Right.
Like, they say that these specific foods will cause your body to heat up or cool down. Right. And I guess it's because of the nutritional value. The deer just ran in front of us.
That was scary.
Anyway, it's because of the nutritional value that it causes that to happen. So right. I don't know why that is, but...
I don't either.
It made a difference, though. That's the thing. Like,
it did.
Because we didn't start him on all these supplements right away.
It was a gradual process.
It was gradual, but the thing we did right away is we started him on a different diet, and we cook all of his food. Yeah. A raw diet's another thing, and that's... Anyway, because we were trying that for a while, but she said it's too much for him to process right now.
Yes.
So we do cook his food. But anyway, so we changed diet, and then we started the first supplement, actually, which you didn't mention, was the melatonin.
Yes.
And biotin.
With lignans.
With lignans. So it has biotin for his hair.
Yeah. So that helped him because he wasn't sleeping at night. He would just be panting, and you could hear him. He just was restless because he was hot, and he still gets that way. I'm not going to say that it totally fixed it, but we give him 2 of those in the evening because it helps him to sleep. And
so we started him on that, and we started to change his food. I think it was the only thing we did at first.
Yeah.
And that was like, within like a week or 2, he started sleeping better. And was panting less than he was before.
Yeah. We
didn't have issues with the diarrhea anymore. That was one issue we were having with him starting to become frequent, was the diarrhea. That went away.
We don't feed him kibble anymore.
No.
If you're looking for a good resource on that, I recommend you search for the series called The Truth About Pet Cancer. They'll kind of open your eyes. It's like a 7 or 8 part documentary series, and they have some good things to say that might change your mind, and it's up to you, but we decided not to. So
not to feed him kibble anymore.
Yeah.
We just wanted to feed him real food.
Thank you. So
and then eventually we added in those other supplements that Jess was talking about. Oh, another one that you didn't mention was the
ginkgo.
The ginkgo. That was the recent one. That's more for memory, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but for the Cushing's problem was the we call them as happy treats.
Oh, the echinacea. No, ashwagandha.
So there's these treats you can get off Amazon, and they have ashwagandha in them and something else. I don't remember what all else is in them. But we give him one of those a day, And then if we're going like on a car ride, like right now, we give him an extra one because he gets extra stressed, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like...
And they're safe. I mean, you can give him multiple... Not like candy, not like, you know...
It's like, it depends on your dog's size. There's a thing on the back. But when we took him last summer, we went on a trip out west.
Yeah.
And we were gone for, 2 weeks?
Yes.
And we were really nervous about this because this was not long after he was diagnosed with the Cushing's.
Yeah, that incident in the back seat was in March, and we were leaving in July. June, end of June.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But so we were really nervous that he was going to have issues, you know, being in the truck that whole time. But we gave him, every day we were on the road, we gave him an extra one of those ashwagandha treats. And man, he just was happy-go-lucky.
There was one day we forgot to.
And we noticed.
And it was apparent. And so I recommend...
He didn't go in the car or anything, but he was definitely pacing back and forth and just couldn't rest, you know. And I mean, you see, like right now, he's just chilling back there.
For the most part, this is his version of calm.
Yeah.
But he doesn't jump around. He's always been that way in the car though. Like you kind of forget he's there because he's so quiet. He doesn't really bark unless, you know, the Amazon guy comes up
or recently if it's feeding time and you encourage him to talk for his food.
He likes to talk about it. It's bad if you go make him lay down. Whoa, like he'll just let you know he's not pleased with that. Like, excuse you, I'm just hungry here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we also, there's another supplement too, real quick, Ficox Max. It comes in a big container, circular container.
It's like a treat as well.
Yeah, it looks like a Rolo.
It does.
It doesn't smell like a Rolo. And it's definitely not chocolate, which is good, but it helps with his arthritis. So,
it's got it's for joints too. What do they call that for joints?
Glucosamine.
It's got glucosamine in it.
Yeah, and other stuff. So to help him out, but so we do fork out a lot of money for him, but it's, you know, we love him. We want to give him, like I said, the best quality of life we can. He's kind of started to slow down some more even after this, but
I think that's more because of age, honestly.
Yeah, like, I mean, we think he's 12, so, and that's, you know, it's getting up there for a doggo. So, but he's pretty happy when he's got his cold floor, and you know, we also have a cooling mat, the Green Pet Shop. I think it's on Amazon. I bought it, or his grandma bought it for him, David's mom, and it was funny. It's like a gel activated cooling mat. It lasts for a couple hours, and then it takes about, I think, 20 minutes for it to recharge. And all you have to do is just like get off of it, like that's pressure activated. But as soon as we pulled that thing out of the box and laid it on the floor, man, he was on it, and he loves it. We take that with us whenever we can, and
we have beds for him, but he just gets hot in the beds, and he's on one right now because it kind of, I think, helps him feel a little more secure in the truck. But typically he doesn't sleep on those at home. He just sleeps on the floor because it's cold.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just a little bit about our doggo. And, you know, if you're dealing with the same struggles as we are, I wish someone would have told me.
Yeah.
Because
we had to figure it out on our own, you know. And
but
it took a while. And
seek out a holistic veterinarian in your area, because, you know, they might have more to say that you didn't know was possible, and you might learn something. And I know we've learned a lot. There's probably a lot more we could be doing for him. I just, you know, it's hard financially, and sometimes, and also, you know, they can't really tell you where they're in pain or how they're hurting. So
well, and I think if I remember correctly, the holistic doctor said that there may come a point eventually where we might have to put him on a prescription, but we're trying to avoid that. But she thought, since we caught it so early, that we would be able to avoid that. So that's from what we're finding out, that's the main thing, is to catch this stuff early. So just, you know, watching your dog's symptoms. But apparently, like, most people don't catch it early, you know. They just think, well, the dog peed in the house. Oh, the dog peed in the... Well, but it's because they have a problem. It's not because they're just being disobedient, you know, or trying to cause you problems. It's because they can't hold it, you know, and they're drinking a bunch of water. Because the reason they're drinking the water is to flush the cortisol out of their system. So that's good, you know, that you want that to get out of their system. So you just try to kind of suppress the cortisol as much as you can with these other supplements and make sure their overall health is better so that their body can deal with it, the stress that they have.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Anything else?
I don't know. I guess that kind of summed it up. I think recording this in the truck is probably the only way that you would have gotten both of us and Dodge all in the same shot for the entire video.
Know. He doesn't move much when he's around, unless there's food involved, in which case then he's...
Yeah, I said your name. Hi, bud.
Hey.
Dash.
Dash.
You good boy?
A good dog?
Yeah.
So, we're going to keep him around as long as we can and love him as much as we can. So, ooh, does that feel good? So, that's our dog. That's our fur baby. If you like this video, you can share some pictures of your fur baby in the comments.
Can you do that on YouTube?
I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe not. I don't know. Or just...
Yeah. Or if maybe your dog has this and you've experimented or tried out, maybe not experiment's the good word, but tried out some other treatments, you know, you might want to share those in the comments too. Because the main reason we're doing this video is because we want other people to know that there's other options out there besides the one option that you might be presented with. And we just want to encourage you to try that.
Your vet might know more, and like I said, that's great, but...
Yeah, and it depends on your dog.
Yeah.
You know, just like humans, every dog's different. They have different needs, so yeah, you need to talk to your vets about it and get extra opinions.
Don't just settle.
Yeah.
They're worth more than that, you know.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I guess we better stop this. We're at like 27 minutes now, so.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, let us know what you think in the comments, or if you have any suggestions or want to know more, just let us know.
Yep.
So, thanks for watching. Bye.